Hello, everyone. Hello. It's Angelo Robles, and welcome to a glorious week as I'm shooting this as a live on Monday. And here we are in the summer. We're one day away from the great month of July. This is July 4th week here in the US. So kudos to the US. Just lots going on. And there is a message that I did want to share this early Monday morning. Right before I get to that, for those that are hearing this live, or at least today via a recording, I do have an interesting week this week. Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern, we have the return of Dr. Craig Kaplan. Craig Kaplan has been a guest several times. He's based in Greater Silicon Valley. He's been an entrepreneur and a very active investor into effectively AI and AI only. I haven't really done a hardcore investment podcast on that subject in a long time. So many of you were stating, Angelo, you're talking about AI a lot, but not necessarily as much about investing, although I did a solo and I absolutely believe all roads lead through AI, period. The S&P 500, what? It's the Mag 7, a couple of others, and really for the most part, if not 493, about 450 that will probably underperform and be laggards. But we're going to save that to 4 o'clock this Wednesday live. Dr. Craig Kaplan also was a hedge fund manager. So he's more than just a technologist who's investing in public and private companies and AI. He's a pretty sharp guy and worked under some of the big leading people in the world of AI. So we look forward to that. We're going to go hardcore. And he's mainly a public company investor. So the things we're talking about, you could just go online, make your own decision and invest. These aren't as complex as private companies to get involved in. But today, I did want to talk about why waiting 6 months will cost you everything. Not maybe, but I believe it will. So on that note, shall we begin? So I'd like to begin with what I believe to be an uncomfortable truth that most families don't understand. And we'll talk a little bit about this with the before mentioned Craig Kaplan, who has the chops as a PhD in AI to talk about it. But the AI capability is not improving gradually like most of what we're used to. It's doubling per Jensen Huang every 6 months, which means AI that's available today is 2x more powerful than earlier this year in January. By December, late December of this year, assuming that holds, it'll be 2x more powerful than today. But do the compounding. By June of 2026, 4x more powerful than today. But then it gets interesting. Again, do the math. 8x 6 months later, then 16x, then 32. Then by the end of 3 years, potentially 64x more powerful, assuming we have the energy capacity to do that, which is debatable. If that's half wrong, well, 32x in 3 years sounds pretty good to me. But here's what really matters. The families learning to use these tools now will have months or years of experience when AI does become more powerful under their belts and a head start. Think about it this way. Here's my analogy. Would you rather learn to drive on empty roads with a patient instructor or heavy traffic during rush hour? The families starting today get to learn while AI is somewhat manageable and build the skills that compound as the technology improves. The families waiting to catch up when the systems are far more complex and competitive will, I think, already have an insurmountable challenge and start ahead of them. So let me get into some actual reasons. We're going to dive pretty deep here. Why the early mover edge is actually permanent. So part of it is a learning curve advantage. Early adopters are learning while AI is still, like I said, easy to master. They build institutional knowledge as the technology evolves. Late adapters face steeper learning curves with more complex systems. 2, talent acquisition. The best AI talent joins families at least already committed to the transformation. And rising executives, talent in the family office community, this is going to simply be more attractive. Iron sharpens iron, the best and the focus of your goals will attract the best. Late movers fight for second tier talent at premium prices. Three, and I think this one is huge, cultural integration. Early families develop AI native thinking more organically. Late families struggle with change, management, and resistance. You also have what I would define, and others have spoken about it, as network effects. Early adapters create partnerships and intelligence sharing with other advanced families. Late adapters are sometimes excluded from these elite networks. They may have too much catch up to do. Now, I'm going to talk about something that might even be bigger than the couple of areas I focused on, and that's going to be mindset and culture. So the real battleground, and I have lived through it, I'm seeing it, I'm hosting these master classes, I'm talking to families. The real battleground is absolutely huge and overlooked. It's AI native versus the majority as an AI resistant culture. So early adopter family offices, here's what they think. How can AI solve or really help to solve this? Default thinking. But this is a team excited to augment their capabilities, continuous experimentation, optimization. AI becomes integrated into that identity. Now let's talk about the late adapter, or really not at all at the moment. We've always done it this way. That's known as default resistance. The team is threatened by change, worried about job security, fighting cultural battles while competitors advance. AI feels foreign and imposed. The cultural compound effect. Early families compound AI advantages daily through culture. Late families fight internal resistance while trying to catch up technically. You can buy technology, but you can't really buy 18 months of cultural adaptation. I understand ego, ignorance, and fear. And those are all real, all have impacted me over the years. And fear is legitimate, I understand. But putting your head in the sand over something that is just so obvious is absolutely the wrong approach. I want you to have incredible security at your position in the family office, the world of finance, whatever it may be servicing the community. If you don't see that what I'm describing is so obvious that there is no stopping this train. Now, some of you may get cute with that, and Taiwan gets invaded, nuclear war around the world. Sure. Excluding that, and I guess those are on the table, there's no stopping this train. It's going to be impactful to everything. And we'll get into with Dr. Kaplan on Wednesday some of the societal big picture. He has some unique thoughts about AI safety. We'll talk a little bit about the US and China, obviously investing. And again, he's a former hedge fund manager, and his main focus is on investing primarily in public companies. So in some ways, even more convenient. We'll actually break down each of the Mag 7, but certainly others, Palantir and others as well. So, like, I just feel that at times in this early stage, especially in the family office community, I'm not even sure it's the first inning. It's more singing the national anthem. So my international people will have no idea basically what I just said. Like, it's early, but now is the time. It's the mindset and the cultural development. And I think it's being gravely underestimated in families, with the elders of the families and with the leaders in many companies from family offices in the world of finance. You have to begin to embrace the mindset and the cultural perspective. You need to take the actions to move forward. Now, could you accelerate that knowledge? Sure. And that's why you would want to be a part of my AI Family Office Masterclass. especially if you're in the family office world, as a principal myself, as someone who has rising generation, as someone who's a very active allocator, and someone who is implementing the resources and tools that I'm talking about. And like I told many of you, especially earlier on when I started this, really 18 months ago, but more fully about 9 or 10 months ago, I made mistakes. I'm imperfect. Like I'm going and buzzing through money, time and resources, some interns, and some things that did not work out. I learned a lot along the way. And a lot of it has become more crystal clear in the last 3 or 4 months, what has worked, what hasn't worked. And going through the masterclass and having that experience and the incredible faculty and great peers of investors and family offices that were in that room, literally beginning a week ago from today. So that was June 23rd into the 24th. So much was learned. And yes, some of you heard that, really, did you actually get a piece of paper or a napkin and draw something out and using a multimodal platform, be able to illustrate that and create an app from that based on the idea that would be beneficial from an investing perspective? The answer is yes. Was it the most incredible thing ever invented and is going to change the dynamics of family offices forever? No, but it illustrates with no coding, with someone like me who's 60 and is not necessarily native with technology. If I could do it, you could do it. So I put in the work. I put in hundreds of hours, and I want to share that and condense that, not just my experience, but the experience of others and very impressive people that could help to condense the timeline. Over the years, as I've interviewed Tony Robbins and, spoke to him here and there, I understand one of the things that he talks about was you could probably figure this out. It just, where are you going to find the time? And it may take you years, and you're going to have some trial and error. Or you could skip ahead of the line, which is going to cost money. I get it. But have that opportunity to have condensed knowledge and work hands-on from your perspective. And is that worth it? Is that going to save you years? Is that going to save you months? If it only saves you arguably weeks, is it still worth it? I think it is, but maybe I'm conflicted. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of my sequillatry today, which was more mindset and cultural, but I think it went a little deeper than that. And I think these are the important things that you have to think about within the family office and really finance and broadly anything to do with the family office ecosystem. And the ones that are perhaps most impacted, those that service like legal, accounting, and others, you're going to have to make these adaptations too. Everything that you know is changing. I don't want to use the verbiage that I may have used before. Everything that you know is coming to an end, but everything eventually comes to an end. We need to constantly iterate and adapt, especially in today's world. And again, I go back to, it's nothing special about me. I just happen to be obsessed with what I do. I put in the time and I'm resilient. Every one of you probably is more talented. This is an opportunity for you to accelerate, to, as a family, gain an edge that early mover advantage may not be able to overcome by others that may be even better and smarter if they're going to take so long and bureaucratic to get to that. So again, I know many of you think I've been really pounding the AI bandwagon from all perspectives very hard, and I have. And I have lots of thoughts about it and more to come. And hopefully things that you're learning from, even that I'm giving away free here and in others, and the investment conversation we're having in a day or two, and other conversations I have coming up. But I go back to what I said. All roads are going to lead through this. It's just how it is. You don't have to like it or not like it. It doesn't matter. You're going to be inconsequential to the bigger picture of what's going on. You need to get on that train, learn how to ride it and navigate it, and become incredible. What's wrong with that? Now, yes, we could look further down the road and get a little negative about some societal perspectives. We'll have those honest conversations. I've done that before on my platform and happy to. But I think this is a very important conversation to have today, this early week. Now is the time. And many of you have heard me say it makes it sound like I have no personal life, and I do. But like right now is not a time to be resting. You got to put the pedal to the metal. This is a chance this summer when family offices are relaxing in the Hamptons and off to Europe. Like you have to put your nose down, acquire the skills, and put in the grind. And now is the opportunity for you to gain a competitive edge, literally, that you could implement this summer. Worst case, coming out of the summer, you're going to have a massive, massive head start. Massive, huge. And again, it does matter, this cultural adaptation, because if you wait too long, if the talent in your companies, family office or others, wait too long, it becomes harder and harder to master because you don't have the foundation to build upon the cultural mindset and the experiences. While it's relatively straightforward, but if Angelo could do the napkin to an application, come on, anyone could. I promise it really wasn't that hard. And the things I'm working on now and the implementation to my, I don't want to get too deep, but using Zapier and APIs to tie into varying programs I subscribe to in private company access that I'm able to get resources on and diligence. It's like so cool. Like this is the time. Like I just sometimes want to grab many of you by the lapel and just say, like, your future, the now and the future is totally at stake. This is the time. There is no stopping this train. I am going to be proven to be 100% correct about this. 100%. You're better off for the reasons I noted. The mindset and cultural adaptation, the engagement with the rising generation, the younger talent potentially coming into your family office or company. Now is the time, this summer in 2025. So I'll see if some questions come in. Happy to answer. I have some more things I'm working on. One is called a battle of ideas. Some of you know that I like a little bit of competition, a little bit of friendly conversation back and forth. Some would call it a debate. I think I'm the only one in the family office that's actively doing that. It probably scares some guests away that want to come on. But the battle of ideas is not for me or anyone to be right or wrong. It's let's, like, these sacred cows, these status quos, these resting on our laurels of what worked in the past, I don't think is going to work now and or moving forward. And that applies to a lot of different things, some of them so-called evergreen, like family governance. So yes, I have some strong opinions, weakly held. Again, a poker player, as I mentioned to many of you, you have to adapt via a variety of conditions as things change. You got to know when to fold them and know when to hold them. Well, we know about that song as well. So I will be making some announcements. If any of you have ideas about the battle of ideas, about things that from AI to governance to family office structuring to taxation to even more geopolitical and macroeconomic, I'm pretty fluid in a variety of different subjects. If I could bring it back into the family office world, and I am wrong, I get it. So why not showcase what are some ideas you would like to see battle tested more publicly, and who would be the person to do that with me and who would want to? A lot of people are uncomfortable with some level of, even if it's friendly, with confrontation. The amount of people that turn me down on it is way more than accept. So kudos to those that have accepted the challenge over the last year, from Jamie McLaughlin to Dr. Stacy Feiner, to Ron Diamond, all people that I respect, that do wonderful work. But there's some key areas that we have some strong fundamental disagreements, and that's okay. Bring it to the stage so we could battle the ideas, so we could learn, put aside ego and ignorance, which is hard to do. I do understand. And then that benefits the community by doing things that other organizations, honestly, they're just not doing. Those are uncomfortable. They don't want to rock the boat with the old guard or the people that represent the community. Well, I used to be that. I've been in the community for decades. I like to rock the boat. I like to challenge assumptions. It doesn't mean that I like to play the villain or the Darth Vader all the time. It just means that I think, again, sacred cows and all this stuff, it's all baloney. A lot of the things that you think are how the world works in the family office world, they just don't hold true anymore. That's just how it is. And if you disagree, then bring it on. Who would be that person to want to bring it on? And sometimes on little notice, sometimes 24 to 48-hour notice, I don't even want to prep a lot. That makes it more artificial. I want it to be natural and free flowing. So lots going on, from my battle of ideas to obviously AI, where like I feel like I'm it in the family office world. I do have another AI family office masterclass, the only one left this summer. It'll be New York again on August 11th and 12th. It's all up at angelorobles.com. I revamped a lot of because I learned so much from the one from last week. This one is going to be incredible, incredible and awesome, and way more you being immersive, hands-on, show and tell, and really building things, which are not going to be complicated. You'll be surprised about how much you could get done. And there's a level of pre-planning about the week before that goes into it, because I want you to really be up and ready for it. And then even a little bit of post the event. We don't just drop you. So go to angelorobles.com, learn more about membership, become a member in my SFO continuity as we march to 100 members, and some of them the most iconic and incredible families and family offices on earth, as well as look into the AI Family Office Masterclass. I revamped my consulting page and really much of my website. I do engage in some speaking assignments. I have one offer in the Middle East. I don't know if I'm going to take it. It'll be interesting what I would do in that conversation. But we shall see. And maybe I think they may be willing to videotape and make that one public. A lot of the ones I've done this year were more private, inside of legal and accounting firms, and some more intimate things that I have done. So yes, I think AI is going to be the control layer for everything. Yes, I think there's no stopping this train. But of course, I understand. I still really love geopolitics. I love macroeconomics. I love investing, public and private companies. I have lots of thoughts, lots of opinions, lots of failures and things that didn't work out for me from that perspective. I love to talk about structuring a family office. I did a solo on that about 2 months ago. I may repeat the foundation of that in an upcoming quote unquote program. Many of you know I'm not the biggest advocate of so-called benchmarking and best practices. It's an opaque and fragmented community, the family office world. Most family offices are really actually not that good. So therefore, the concept of benchmarking and best practices, with each family having unique goals, and then how do you structure things from your objectives and key results. You implement KPIs, key performance indicators. It's just harder in the family office world. The answer is first principles. Break things down to the barest essence. So first principles thinking, that is the secret at heart in really a family office community. And again, the traditional family office is becoming obsolete. It was designed in a world of stability, not control. It manages wealth, but doesn't really manufacture. So that gets me. And I know I read a post this morning on LinkedIn that for the most part I disagree with, relative to the perspective of only anchoring in wealth preservation. You are asking for trouble long term, and not teaching the rising generation the lore of calculated risk, the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, to recreate wealth, to create jobs and opportunity, to be of benefit and value in society, more than just being an allocator and investor. Now, there's a whole bunch of reasons I have around this. And also, one of the reasons why I'm one of the few people that disagrees with a lot of the common thought in family governance in the community. To me, it often adds more layers of system and bureaucracy and slows things down. I want to remove bottlenecks in the family and family office. I want to focus on the most important things. Yes, the big picture of 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years, but who knows on that, especially in today's world? What's the most important thing I need to get done today? And am I letting distractions get in my way, which the vast majority of you are? At the heart, I'm really a practice management expert. Well, ooh, I hate that word. Sorry. Yes, some of you have heard my videos about so-called experts. I'm a practice management aficionado, maybe thought leader. So that really is at the heart of what I am. Some of you that are newer just know me as only talking about AI. Well, yeah, it's going to be the control layer for everything. I'm 100% correct, and nothing is stopping this train. And you're crazy if you're not investing in it and it's not a part of your fabric and architecture immediately, not even 6 months from now, from all the reasons I noted earlier in this video, this conversation, this live that I'm doing now. But I'm far deeper than that. I've been in this community for decades. So from structuring the tax issues to investing to geopolitics to macroeconomics to really everything. And there are some times when benchmarking and best practices are good. They're just, broadly speaking, not as good as first principles thinking. And the advent, from my perspective, of practice management within the family office begins there. And I think that's a very important aspect and a part of this community. Like I said, there's some incredible people that I have learned so much for, some of them that go back further than me, some more my contemporary with about my 20 years, and some newer, because I don't want to get anchored in old thinking. So people from outside the community that are younger, dynamic, that think about things differently, kudos. We don't have enough of that in the family office community. That's been generally a really big problem. It gets anchored in the old guard where you just take anything that they say on face value and don't challenge it. And they don't want to be challenged. And a lot of them honestly kind of quasi crumble under some level of scrutiny and challenge anyway, which goes back to what I mentioned a second ago and shot a video on the so-called expert that's entrenched in protecting the status quo and doesn't want you to challenge their assumptions. So I have a whole bunch of additional thoughts about that, but we'll save that for a different time. So this summer, no rest for the weary. You better jump on the AI train. The old guard is giving you horrific and wrong information. I'm right, they're wrong, and that's just the way it is. And yes, you should be a part of my membership community. You should jump into the masterclass. I know I'm a little bit of a premium, but you get what you pay for, and the quality of peers, hands-on direct work with me, and effectively what I would define in that example as an AI family office masterclass is my faculty is invaluable. Now, do you got to take actions on it? Sure. And if you're not a person that takes action in any degree, then like what value do you really get from anything? Just stay home and do nothing. Like this is an exciting time. This is a time when you can make a real impact right now. So there's never been a better time. I love what I do. Obsession to me is something that's very important. You can only be obsessed about so many different things. And for me, I chose the family office community many years ago. That's just what it is. And to this day, still loving it, probably coming pretty close to 20 years now. Always be a lifelong learner. Please bury me in the white belt. I have so much to learn, and many of you are awesome. So on that note, I think you all know how to reach out to me. Let's keep busy this summer, have a little bit of fun too. And you all know how to go to angelorobles.com and jump in, be a part of what we're building right now. This is a very, very active summer. I got 2 or 3 breakfasts I'm hosting in New York. None of this is up on the website or events. It's more low key for my members. I think it's July 16th. I'm doing a soiree at like $100 million penthouse in New York City. That'll be a little bit of education, but a lot of just great investors and people getting together. Might do something in New Jersey at a private home. Later in the summer, I almost will call it the anti-Hamptons. So sometimes Hamptons is cool, but sometimes gets a little snooty for this Italian Latino bearded gentleman with a cigar who likes to spend a lot of time in Wyoming. But I do love me a little bit of the Hamptons, but I have some ideas about kind of twisting that a little bit on its head. May go to the Opal Newport about, what is that, third or so week in July. So if you're going to be around there, of course, hit me up. I may see many of you there. I may do a little bit of something or team up something there. It's going to be social. And I'm just grinding. I'm putting in the work. I'm doing a lot of things in AI. So much, so many incredible things are happening. So let's go. Let's be part of this together. Go to AngelaRobles.com. Thank you all so much and have a great day.